April 28, 2023. A warm night settled over Folly Beach Road in South Carolina as a small golf cart rolled forward, trailing a just married sign that swayed with every bump. Inside were Samantha Miller and Eric Hutchinson, newlyweds leaving their reception. Laughter still close, the future still untouched. Samantha was still in her wedding dress, white against the dark road. Behind them, headlights surged. A car tore through the quiet at 65 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. The driver's blood alcohol level measured 0.261%, more than 3 times the legal limit. In seconds, joy collapsed into violence. Jamie Lee Komoroski's vehicle struck the golf cart with devastating force, throwing it nearly 100 yards down the road. Samantha Miller was killed instantly, her life ending before the night could fade. Eric Hutchinson survived, but with a traumatic brain injury and broken bones that would alter him forever. Other family members riding with them were critically injured. That single night transformed celebration into catastrophe and marked the beginning of an unforgiving prison reality. The courtroom was silent as Judge Dudley Jefferson read the sentence into the record, each number landing with a finality that left no room for interpretation. 25 years for felony driving under the influence resulting in death. 15 years for 2 counts of driving under the influence causing great bodily injury. 10 years for reckless homicide. All sentences ordered to run concurrently. The total was 25 years. No stacking, no extensions. Just a single block of time that would define the rest of Jamie Lee Komoroski's adult life. What made the sentence extraordinary was not just its length, but its rigidity. There would be no parole hearings, no supervised release, no earned time credits, no reductions for good behavior. Every single day would be served in full. Most people hear 25 years and assume flexibility exists somewhere in the system. In South Carolina, for this charge, there is none. Kamaroski was 27 years old when she stood before the court in December of 2024. Her projected release date was set for April 24, 2045. When she leaves prison, she will be 52 years old. Her 20s, 30s, 40s, and the beginning of her 50s will have passed behind locked doors. Her attorneys immediately challenged the ruling. They argued the punishment was grossly disproportionate when compared to similar cases. Motions were filed citing the 8th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, pointing to cruel and unusual punishment and unequal application of the law. They emphasized that Kamaroski had no prior criminal record, no history of violence, and that she pleaded guilty to spare the victims' families the pain of a public trial. They submitted comparable cases. One defendant received 9 years. Another received 18. A regional analysis showed most fatal DUI cases ended with sentences between 6 and 10 years. But prosecutors rejected the comparison entirely. This was not an average case. This was a bride killed minutes after her wedding. Multiple victims. Extreme intoxication. Reckless speed through a residential area. The family of Samantha Miller stood behind the state and demanded the maximum sentence allowed by law. In April of 2025, Judge Jefferson upheld the original ruling. Every appeal failed. Every motion was denied. The sentence became permanent. 25 years, immovable and absolute. After sentencing, Jamie Lee Komoroski was transferred to the Camille Griffin Graham Correctional Institution in Columbia, South Carolina. This was not a low-security facility. It was not a place designed for short sentences or nonviolent offenders. Graham is a Level 3 women's prison, housing inmates with long sentences, serious behavioral histories, and violent convictions. It is also where South Carolina places its female death row population. The facility is enclosed by double perimeter fencing equipped with electronic detection systems. Movement is monitored. Schedules are rigid. Cells are single or double bunked, and surveillance is constant. Life inside follows a strict routine dictated entirely by the institution. Wake-up times are fixed. Meals are issued, not chosen. Recreation is limited and supervised. Privacy is non-existent. For someone facing decades in this environment, the psychological toll becomes overwhelming. Prior to sentencing, recorded jailhouse phone calls painted a troubling picture. Analysts described Kamaroski's tone as detached, manipulative, and lacking genuine remorse. The version of herself presented privately contrasted sharply with the remorseful image displayed in court. Those recordings likely influenced the judge's decision. During sentencing, the victims addressed the court. Eric Hutchinson spoke of wishing he had died so his wife would not have faced death alone. Samantha Miller's father spoke with raw anger, describing a hatred that would never fade. Her mother explained that their family had been sentenced to a lifetime of grief with no release date. But Graham Correctional Institution carries its own history. In 2019, investigations revealed systemic abuse within the facility. Women experiencing mental health crises were punished instead of treated. Inmates reporting suicidal thoughts were denied care. Hygiene products were withheld as disciplinary measures. A psychiatrist testified before a legislative committee confirming these practices were authorized. The goal was deterrence, not treatment. Although leadership resigned, the culture did not vanish overnight. This is the environment Kamaroski entered. She arrived at 27. She will leave at 52, assuming she survives that long. What makes Kamaroski's sentence uniquely crushing is not only its duration, but its certainty. South Carolina law offers no path to early release for her crime. No parole board, no earned time, no adjustment. Her release date is fixed and unchangeable. April 24, 2045. Every program she completes inside prison carries no external reward. Education, counseling, rehabilitation all occur in isolation from freedom. There is no incentive beyond internal change. Psychologically, this removes hope as a motivating force. Time does not shorten. It simply passes. She will watch other inmates arrive and leave while she remains. Years will blend together. Work assignments repeat. Days lose distinction. Graham operates a clothing manufacturing program for state agencies. She may work there. She may enroll in vocational training she will not use for decades. Substance abuse programs are available, yet her ability to affect the outside world is severed. Her vow to raise awareness about drunk driving exists in a vacuum. Transformation does not equal redemption inside these walls. The moral hierarchy of prison is unforgiving. Her crime is widely known. Media coverage followed her case relentlessly. Details do not fade behind bars. They circulate. Every interaction is shaped by what she did. As years pass, the math remains constant. 9,125 days, 219,000 hours, 13 million minutes. No clemency, no reconsideration. By the time she is released, Samantha Miller would have been 38 years old. A life interrupted before it began. The families will still grieve. Eric Hutchinson will still carry his injuries. The empty seat at family gatherings will remain. The question lingers. Does watching someone age behind bars equal justice? Or does it merely satisfy a need for punishment while leaving the deeper wound untouched? There is no answer. Only time measured precisely and served in full. Is 25 years inside concrete walls truly justice? Or is it simply the most visible response to an irreversible loss? Does time served balance a life erased in seconds, or does it only satisfy our demand that someone must pay? Jamie Lee Komoroski now has nothing but time to sit with that question. 9,125 days measured out one by one, each morning identical to the last. Whether that reality is worse than death depends entirely on how you define accountability. What cannot be disputed is this. April 28, 2023 will follow her forever. No appeal will rewrite it. No apology will shorten it. The sentence is fixed, mathematical, and absolute. The only choice left to her is how she endures those years, knowing that when the gates finally open at 52, the world beyond them will barely remember her story. For them, time stops,